It feels like they're talking about religion, like the weight of what they're doing. The fire-breathing dragon, George R.R. Martin's sequel to The House of the Dragon, but it's the LART version. Oh my God. Extreme barista. Latte art, free pour patterns and stuff like that. This is lost media. This is an archive. I don't even think you can get this anywhere. It dates back all the way to 2008, which is 17 years ago. I hope that made you feel good. I hope you feel better now. This comes from an era when the X in extreme had to be extreme. What makes it extreme? I have no idea, but we're gonna find out together. I'm really excited for this right here, the fire-breathing dragon. This is what the DVD looks like. Oh, look at that. Remember that? Remember DVDs? Remember pushing in a little... We should start an ASMR channel just for this. The back actually looks pretty clean. And then here, this is just for anybody who's like an old school nerd. Oh. Welcome to the channel. I have been in coffee for over 10 years now, and so if you like coffee and you like sillies, you like fun, this is your channel. You didn't know you needed it till now, so make sure to go unsubscribe to some other YouTuber and hit subscribe down below. Let's get started. Uh-oh. I do not own any of the rights to this DVD. We are actually doing this as a reaction, so yeah, I don't own the rights to this shit. Oh my God, not the classic spinning ball. That's not bad.
Hi. My name is Austin Gregory. We're here in Portland, Oregon.
He came in so hot. That's crazy. We have to go back. First of all, this video is making it look like 2008 was 100 years ago. Like it feels really old school. Wow, that haircut's crazy.
Hi, my name is Austin Gregory. We're here in Portland, Oregon at the ABC's American Barista and Coffee Schools. We have assembled some...
This does not belong in a latte art video. This cocky ass smile. They know what they were doing when they were doing these cheeky smiles like this. Billy.
Baristas from all over the country help take
not mad on the motorcycle.
your skills to the next level.
Oh. Wait, I'm not doing it right. I'm not doing it justice. Where are my sunglasses?
The next level.
Oh, no, 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 no. Okay, and for anybody who doesn't know, this is Chris DeFurio. Chris DeFurio is, well, he's been in coffee for a while, so he has legacy status, and he judged for the World Latte Art Championships from like 2017 to something like that to essentially a couple of years ago. He is the guy who always would say, your pour sucks or your pour is good. He never said that verbatim or directly to my face, but he might as well have. I like the soul patch. The soul patch is nice.
Today's presentation is going to be fresh, hardcore,
oh God,
cutting edge,
oh God,
super advanced barista training.
Stop it. I don't know. I'm doubtful that it's going to actually be super advanced knowing the time period. You have to understand, coffee just wasn't as evolved as it is now. It's not a diss. It just wasn't as evolved. Oh, wait. Stop. A bunch of bros went out for a stroll to go get some coffee. Tell me how that episode ends. Hey, so you know the thing about latte art? LART is the medical term for latte art, if you didn't already know that. The dance of the barista.
Hi. Quickly, we're going to talk about what we call the dance of the barista. We've all seen it. Baristas, wasted steps, going through motions that are unnecessary. So what I'm going to...
I actually really like the philosophy he's talking about. Wasted steps, motions that are unnecessary is something I still teach today, because at the end of the day, every motion you take is going to justify the next thing you do, and there can be a lot of lag whenever you're misstepping, and essentially you always want to be moving in the direction of the goal you're accomplishing. Same thing in life. We don't want to backstep too much, right? It's okay if we sometimes make a little double step, but generally get it together. There.
Milk in the pitcher, cup, ready to go, hot. Everything that comes in contact with that espresso should be hot. We all know that.
Some people would disagree with that. It's actually true. You should have all your vessels like warm if you want the coffee to stay at temp. Ideally, because you don't want it to actually take the temp down. That being said, there's been a lot of research lately that people have been pouring shots into cold cups and, you know, over those little cube balls that are, you know, the balls I'm talking about, those little round balls. They're cold and they're supposed to like shock the coffee, which I hate that terminology. They just get you to the flavor kind of quicker without you being inhibited by the heat. So I don't know if it like shocks in the coffee. I think oxidation still takes its toll, but you get to those flavors quicker than if they were oxidizing through time. Anyway, we're talking about balls here, but essentially there's nothing wrong with that. I actually like what he's teaching. I would say that's true for every cafe. We have moved into a time when you can allow for the cold frozen cups, you know, people do frozen cups.
After I have enough coffee ground, I'm gonna dose. 3, 4.
Wait a minute. He dosed, took off the lid, wiped it to get a level.
Drink out.
This is definitely before the time when we implemented scales, but generally whenever you're making coffee, you'll get a much better results if you are using scales. Now, you don't have to use scales every single time, but you should be checking in on the dose every once in a while. Generally within 0.5 of a gram is okay, and you can get away with that, but just kind of leveling off after some thwacks. That's not measurement, baby. That's anarchy is what that is. And also, I don't like the movement of having to take off the lid, put on the lid, take off the lid, put on the lid. That seems very cumbersome and not worth your time. Maybe just get it right in the first place and weigh it. I don't know, I get exhausted if I did that every single time. There's a lid for a reason. It stays on, baby. Oh.
Tamping.
Little off tamp there, that's okay. We forgive it. Everyone's a little tampy off sometimes. That being said, I have one caveat here. I hate whenever baristas tamp with the spouts on the table. That's so unsanitary. Because think about all the bacteria and dirt and milk and grime and shit that kind of falls on a barista's table. Ideally, you're able to hide it, but that doesn't mean it's gone. It's still there. And so it's better to go to the corner of the table and tamp from the corner. I don't agree with this. I don't find that very extreme at all. He does it too, but he's messy. He's messier. No. We're gonna go back. And did you see what I saw? Oh, first of all, messy. That's okay. Right there, you're not supposed to thwack the portafilter with the tamper. Don't do it, because here's the deal. You're not supposed to do it anyway because it can damage the portafilter, but you also don't want to do it because after you've tamped, you've created a puck. And when you smack it, it's gonna rupture, and then you're gonna tamp it again, and it's just gonna enhance those little weak spots in it. You're damaging it. Like think if you had compacted flour. Every time you have compacted flour and you move it just a little bit, it forms a big crack. There's some big cracks in there, so you don't want to do that because it's going to allow liquid to come through the espresso in ways you don't want. Uneven ways. It's kind of intense. This is a montage of how they all make coffee. He's a little messy. I like the form. I like the belt rag. I like this motion. I like how he's using his body. I don't like how he pushes, taps. Oh gosh, he also did it with the back end. That was interesting. I can't with him a little bit though. He's kind of intense. But he also like has this look like he's like, you better extract. That shot looks good.
I was talking to this one cafe, the owners, and they were like, I was asked, this was when I was first learning latte art, and I was just like, oh, you guys do latte art here, you know? And they're like, well, our volume's so high that we can't do latte art. Mm-hmm. And at first I was just kind of like...
This is just a bunch of dudes talking about latte art on a roof during sunset. All it's shown us so far in the first, I guess it's only been 5 minutes, is them contemplating latte art on the roof in sunset. And I guess we'll pull a shot.
You know, and I didn't know...
Wait, we gotta go back.
Well, our volume's so high that we can't do latte art. Mm-hmm. And at first I was just kind of like, you know, and I didn't disbelieve it, I didn't believe it. I was just kind of like, oh, this place is too busy. And then...
Yeah, I hear you, bro. I feel like DeFerio's trying to hold back a laugh here, because I know that, like, listen, as a latte artist, I hate to call myself that. If you put that on my tombstone, I'll murder you. But as a latte artist, we get pretentious like this. At sunset, you will hear latte artists debating and talking about the philosophy and beauty of their craft, which is a beautiful thing. We should celebrate that. But it's a little cringy, and it's even cringier in sunset with these VHS cameras. But Chris looks like he's got it. He looks like he's got it. Let's hear it. Let's listen.
Some of the busiest coffee shops here in Portland, and you're just seeing them, and like it's just like an assembly line. They're just like busting out, and you know they're going to be doing. They have like a line all the way to the door, and you know it was a Rosetta.
You know, she didn't actually look at me in the eye, but she looked at my latte art, and she thought it was really beautiful. And you know, the fundamental thing about latte art is it comes from the heart, but it doesn't just come from the heart because I'm pouring a heart. It comes from the cardioid because I know a lot about geometry.
In them, and like it's just like an assembly line. They're just like busting out, and you know they're going to be doing. They have like a line all the way to the door, and you know there's a Rosetta or there's a heart or there's something on top of all these drinks.
And it really doesn't take any more time.
I was just getting into it. They cut him short. They cut my boy short. Yeah, and actually I have an opinion about that too. How dare you? What he's saying here essentially is not a bad thing. He's just saying that latte art is a form of customer service, and you should still do it, even if you're a busy cafe, because honestly, at the end of the day, you should be able to work that into your workflow. He's speaking truth here. It's just funny that they're doing it on a roof at sunset on camera as a bunch of guys. Like there's not a film crew next to them watching them. The perfect grind.
We all know that you need to adjust your grind periodically throughout the day to keep on top of good, proper shot extraction. But you should also be taking your grinder apart at least once a week, sometimes twice a week, and cleaning out the inside of your grinder because the coffee in there goes bad and becomes rancid.
He's not wrong. He is saying true things, that the coffee that is left behind in your grinder will go rancid and it will not taste very good. Coffee actually loses a lot of its aroma and flavor within the first 24 hours of grinding, but it'll also oxidize over time and it will eventually go rancid and be pretty terrible, and that stuff does accumulate and it ends up in your coffee. So if you clean your grinder, you'll always have a fresher taste. This is also something you can do at home if your grinder's been kind of tasting the same for a while and kind of murky. You feel you haven't cleaned it maybe in a year, maybe ever. That being said, I don't like this advice for barista training because not every grinder is created equal, and there are plenty of grinders that newbies, like if you just universally sent this DVD out to people and they learned from it, they're going to assume they should take apart their grinder to clean it. Not every grinder is user-friendly. So many of them are very expensive, $2,500 plus. Also, you can literally cut your digits off. So you got to be careful and not be putting your fingers where the burrs are. I just wouldn't give this advice. I would, if somebody was in my cafe and they wanted to learn how to do this, I would train them on it and I would train them on it, and I would not universally ship this out to people. But otherwise, I think he's saying true things.
Let's say, for example, you've taken apart your grinder and you've cleaned it out, and now you need to get it back to adjustment. This is a little trick that I use, and it's a visual trick.
Okay.
The first part of this is
like
we
a
are going
visual
to
trick.
take the grinder all the way to deadlock. That means the grinder burrs right now are touching. They cannot move.
Right.
If you were to turn on the grinder,
No,
it's at a dead
oh,
stop.
no, don't do that. Don't lock your burrs and turn on your grinder. It's not good for your motor. You're not gonna kill yourself, but don't be doing shit like that.
Did this 1/4 of a turn. Now we're going to turn on the grinder and we're going to watch. The coffee is going to do something very specific. When you are close to where you need to be, the coffee is going to both spit and clump as it is coming out of the chute here.
Ew.
And then dial it in for your final adjustments to make sure that you are...
Okay, I'm gonna stop him. So what he's doing is he's saying you need to get to a certain grind size where it's clumpy, and that once you're there, you can pull a shot and taste it, and then you can kind of you can gauge it off that if you're gonna go coarser or finer. Like what his method is like get close and then narrow in, like do a macro adjustment and then do a micro adjustment is spot on. His visualizer is an interesting choice though.
Already we have some of that clumping and spitting.
Ew. So a lot of modern grinders don't do this. They already have clump breakers and they will come out very fluffy. So, I mean, this advice is, again, very old school, very 2008. We don't really do stuff like this. I guess, and they still sell grinders like this. You can still buy super thwackin' jollies anywhere you want. But this is such an interesting, like even the newer versions of this have a little grate right here, like a little fence that separates some of the grinds. So this is a really old school example. So don't take this advice, but also, you know, I won't pick at him. He's got good advice.
That should give you a
Solid.
good benchmark to start.
And if you have the air of excellence around you, people will trust you. You know, you're the gourmet coffee shop.
So funny.
And rather than being just this person behind the counter that's going, okay, it's $3. You know, you're telling them, hey, you know, I like this. You should try it. It's really good. You know, hey, thanks for talking to me.
Hey, Chris has the charm. Chris has the
As a barista too, you know, communication with the customers is, you know, almost as important as...
All the soul patches are crazy. No diss, listen, no diss. It's just the product of its time, but there's so many at one table. I wonder who had it first. Was it Chris or was it this guy?
Or if they always order brew coffee, you might let them try an Americano for the same price just to let them try that.
I would never let someone try an Americano over brewed coffee. I just want to say that real quick. Americanos need to be taken off all menus. They suck. Sorry if your drink is an Americano. It sucks. It's a bad drink. It's just water and espresso. You will get better flavor from a coffee. Drink coffee.
Gently so that we don't break the seal
Thank
of the coffee
you.
oils.
I don't know about breaking seal for coffee oils. I don't know what he said about oils there. He means the seal of like the oil of the coffee that's connected in the basket because you pressed on it. What I would be more concerned about is just the hitting the puck on the thing in general to causing cracks. You know, those are going to cause very severe degradation in channels in your puck. I don't know if I would blame it on the coffee oil. I don't know if I could do that. I don't think I can do that. Do you like these shots?
All right, and now we have the perfect shot to start doing latte art.
It's because no matter how beautiful your drink is, you gotta have a good foundation. You have to have that perfect shot of espresso so that the beauty in the cup matches the flavor.
The flavor.
Good foundation.
They were probably like, hold something in your hand if you don't know what to do with your hands.
To have that perfect shot of espresso so that the beauty in the cup matches the flavor.
I do like the passion though.
Well, the espresso is a process of preparing coffee that magnifies not only the bean flavor, but the preparation method.
What do you think Chris has notes in the bottom of that cup and he's reading off a script?
You know, you can taste in the espresso when something is done wrong.
True. You should always make your espresso really yummy.
If you're going to be a barista and be on top of your game, it's really important to know your
I like
milk,
how he
your
came in
non-fats,
hot.
your whole milks, the different protein levels. It's the proteins in the milk that actually make the foam, not the fat.
He's
Fat's
right.
just gonna
It is actually the proteins that allow for the foam to form and not the fat. The fat actually inhibits foam forming and it makes foam kind of break up more, but it does make your milk more creamy and heavier mouthfeel and more buttery and just generally more milk flavored. So some fat is good. No fat creates very stiff foam. So like 0% milk can create a very stiff foam that you might not actually like to pour with. Whereas cream, it would require tons of air because the fat basically takes up the place that the protein would have used for air. And beta-lactoglobulin, actually, more specifically, I believe it's a whey protein that basically encapsulates air, but it also can encapsulate other things. So it can encapsulate fat as well. So when you have a lot of fat in your milk, it's going to decide, hey, do I want to encapsulate this air and form my little protein ball and make a little bubble of fat or a little bubble of air? And the more fat you have, the less air is going to be able to stay in your milk. And you have to work a lot harder to get the air in.
Insert the wand just beneath the surface. I'm trying to get a nice rolling motion with the milk.
It's great.
What I'm doing is I'm feeling the sides, and basically I'm just stretching the milk.
I like he has his pinky on the tray. I do that. It's good stabilization. I don't know why he's like, I don't know why people do it on the side of the pitcher like that. Just do it to the spout. Like if you put it with the little spout where the triangle is, it just stays in place better. I never understood why people do it on the side. It's interesting.
And it's going to be about 150, 155 degrees.
I teach the same way.
You know, there is so much to learn, so many different variables, and so many different techniques.
Why are we in on the
machines,
fingers?
and
Why
everything
are we
out there.
in on the fingers right now?
difference
Oh my God,
between
they're
different
holding the
steaming-
fingers for so long. I think the cameraman forgot. Like they were like looking at something and it drifted down. Cause that's weird. We're going back.
Much to learn, so many different variables, and so many different techniques and machines, and everything out there. You know, the difference between different steaming pitchers and
What?
cappuccino cups.
They did
you
this
know,
guy
it's-
dirty.
You know, as long as you're open to constantly educate yourself and strive to learn as much as you can, that's
It feels like they're talking about religion, like the weight of what they're doing. I'm making a lot of jokes. This is sweet though.
really where I think, you know, a good barista separates himself.
Oh my gosh. Oh my gosh, we made it. We're at the latte art part. This is the part I've been waiting for. I just love the idea of dudes walking to go pour l'art. They're walking to go pour extreme freeform latte art. I'm crying.
All right, so now we've got our nice velvety milk.
Chris, you can't come in like that with me.
Nice velvety milk and our
Oh my
perfect
God.
espresso. We're going to start making some beautiful pours. No matter what you do with the latte art,
matter what
there's
you
no
do.
getting around the beauty of a well-executed
Why is he
Rosetta.
doing it sexual? Oh my God, we're going back. I'm sorry.
course.
No matter what you do.
No matter what you do
latte
with the
art,
latte art,
I'm still
there's
gonna
no
come
getting
into your
around
bed at night and give you cuddles. That's actually a pretty Rosetta.
I'm now going to prepare for you
up, Billy?
a 12-ounce latte. When I start off the pour,
Wait, Billy's left-handed. That's fun. I always notice when people are left-handed, I like to pour with my left hand kind of as like a party trick. It's really fun to like, once you've learned how to do it with this hand, it's very fun to do it with this hand. I also like to teach by using my left hand, by trying to pour things that my students pour, because when you're using it with your left hand, you are no longer using your muscle memory, you're only using your technical memory, which is the same thing that I'm giving to students as a technical understanding, not the muscle. They have to develop that themselves. It's actually really fun. If you're an educator, I recommend it, but he's left-handed.
tilt the cup off to its side so that the espresso
Hey, so
gathers
far
in the
good.
deepest part of the bowl.
He's getting close.
cup.
He could get a little
I'm
closer.
going to pour at a good height so that the milk goes down beneath the surface. I'm going to flatten out and bring the pour spout closer to the surface of the latte. As soon as I see that white dot.
So, okay, you see all that beige he's got there in the bottom? That's because he's got too much milk in his pitcher for this drink, and he also needs to get that spout closer to the surface. Notice how it goes from beige to white? He wouldn't get the beige if he was just closer to the surface. So he needs to either drop down more dramatically and catch that wave, use a little less milk, or he could use a bigger pitcher. That's a technique that I like to use. His wiggles are great. His ripples are really nice.
Here, I'm just going to start shaking the pitcher slowly.
He kind of
back and
delays a
forth,
little
making
here in the
little
middle, but I really
design
like it.
pattern.
If he had gone back up a little bit faster, he would have those open leaves that are really pretty. But because he went back so slow, they kind of stayed clumped up. But you'll actually catch the open leaves if you're moving fast, because you're going to catch that open color as you pull back. Because when you think about a ripple, it's just a wave, right? It's actually really pretty. That's a different Rosetta. That's not the same Rosetta.
What I'm going to be showing today is the basic Rosetta.
Austin.
And for the Rosetta, I'm going to place the cup on the counter and leave it there. I'm going to take my steaming pitcher by pouring right in the center of the drink.
Okay, first of all, this cup is beautiful. I really want that cup. It's really pretty. If you guys know where that cup is and you can shout out that 2008 cup and find it for me, please do, because that is really pretty, and the matching saucer is crazy. This technique, holding it flat on the table, is the opposite of what you want to do. What you actually want to do is you want to tilt the cup towards the pitcher. That way it's basically almost spilling, but it's like we just said, getting closer will prevent the beige. If you want to prevent the beige, then you got to tilt the cup so your pitcher can get closer.
As I'm pouring, I start to
Also,
move
the milk
from
is
side
thin.
to side.
The milk is really thin. You can see it's breaking up the back wall. I'm not trying to diss his latte art. We are critical on this channel of latte art.
Slowly
His ripples are
getting
dope.
smaller and-
This is also that example is because he moved back a little quickly. You can see the little pockets of color. Very pretty. Kind of
then
hesitated
I
though.
push away up
Honestly,
to the center of
it's
the
not
rosette
that bad.
and
It's
out
just
through the
he
cup.
could do better. He could have a more magnificent pour if he's tilting that cup, and he's also pulling back at a more consistent rate. Those are the two notes I would give him. Otherwise, his ripples are really fantastic.
The next pour I'm going to do for you is going to be a Rosetta in a macchiato. Macchiato is a much smaller cup. People will tell you that this cannot be done. I'm going to show you that
It
this
can't be done.
What we're going to do.
Girl, I have seen people pour entire Pegasuses with a little cappuccino attached to it in a macchiato cup. Oh, also shout out my own little shameless plug cappuccino video. Probably my best video I've ever made. It is a full tutorial on how to pour cappuccinos and get yourself fired.
We're going to again start right in the center. I like to keep my cup on the table. Start off in the center with
Honestly,
exaggerated
it's not as
movement
bad
from
as
side to
I thought it was
side.
gonna be. It's pretty good.
Now,
It's
right
not
up
great.
to the center.
He could get better
Bam.
ripples. Hi, Kat.
Perfect. Paper cup. We're going to do the same pour, the Rosetta, but now using a paper cup in a to-go cup. There are some people who believe it cannot be done, but
He
it
thinks
can.
everything
How do
can't
you
be
do this,
done.
though, is you have-
It's doable. It's doable. Also, shameless plug, I have a video where I teach you how to pour in a to-go cup as well. I did not just make this video to tell you to go to my tutorials, but you can if you want to while you're here. You might as well.
The steaming pitcher, I slowly pour the milk, raising the espresso up, not to disturb it.
He's still not tilting the
I
cup.
start
He just can't be
making my
bothered.
movements from side to side.
He can't be
Coming
bothered.
back and then bam, right through the center. Draw out. Now you've got a Rosetta in the top of your cup.
All right, so what I'm gonna do for you now is a triple Rosetta. It's called multi-hour pour. In order to do this, we're gonna grab
What's
the
it called?
cup with our
What did he say?
a triple Rosetta. It's called multi-hour pour. In order to do this, we're gonna a triple
Rosetta.
It's called multi-hour pour. In order to
Mul-
do this, we're gonna
multi-art
grab the
pour?
cup with our left hand.
Multi-art pour. Is that what he's saying? I think that's what he's
And
saying.
we're going to start at the front of the cup, sneak the milk in, and then we're going to
Sneak
tilt it
the
right
milk
towards.
in. Oh, he would want to sneak the milk in, wouldn't he?
Us so we can get the tip close.
Looks a
and
little
start
thin.
the leaf slowly so it doesn't wrap around
Okay.
the entire cup. We're going to lift up,
I kind of
Go
like that cut
through,
through, come back.
go around the
technique.
other
That's
side
cool.
and tip it away from you. We're
Okay.
going to make that leaf. We're going to come back around and we're going to really kind of quickly.
This is like pretty funny because you got to understand at this time and at this point in time, Chris was a world champion latte artist. The latte art level was different back then. Now he's better than this. He can pour better than this. I've seen him do it since. I think mine would look a lot like this.
What I'm going to do for you now, two Rosettas, one on top of the other. What we're going to need to do is
a weird
start off in the
thing,
front of the
actually. I
cup
don't
again,
hate
and we're
this.
going to make the Rosetta
I think this is kind of
coming
cool.
into the
He
middle.
could tilt more.
We're going to make the Rosetta.
Fun fact, if you start to see white appear in a spot you don't want, you can do what Chris just did and you can go up a little higher and sink it.
coming into the middle.
Watch, he sinks it. Yep, there it goes.
I'm gonna make the Rosetta. We want to make it kind of complicated.
Sometimes I like to pour cappuccinos in front of guests, and then I'll like erase it before in case my boss comes, and then I make it a heart. Don't tell anybody.
A lot of dark crema. We're gonna bring it all the way back and bring it to the end. No, we still have some room left in the cup, and so what we're gonna do is take the now horizontal pitcher.
It's funny because he like was explaining it so slow, and then he was like, and then we got to do this really quick at the end because this is what's gonna happen because I actually am explaining it in live time, and he forgot to explain it ahead of time. But this is cool. I actually like this design pattern. I think the industry actually needs a lot more of this. More fun,
kind of
more
like
experimental.
the parent with the baby Rosetta, right?
It is a
there,
parent with a baby.
Superimposed Rosetta.
When a mother Rosetta and a father Rosetta love each other, they sneak in with the milk, and then they have a baby.
Down into
I love this
the
cup.
espresso, sinking the milk
It's
below
so
the
pretty.
espresso.
I
And as
want
the
it.
cup fills, I
He's
will
tilting.
slowly
First person to
lower
tilt.
the cup back down. Now creating rings with the milk in the center of the cup.
He could have tilted more.
And
Look how,
finally
okay,
drawing-
so his issue is he has way too much milk in this pitcher. Look how much milk he has. Makes
the
it harder
cup
to get closer to
create
the
the heart
surface,
effect.
which is why he
In
has
this
all
way,
this
you
beige
can
on the
serve
sides.
someone a little bit of your heart in your coffee bar.
You can serve someone a little bit of your heart. Is wild. 2 pours, 1 pitcher. You know what they're doing with that.
You know, there's about 1 shot in the bottom of it, and you're gonna pour it very fast so that the
His
milk and
hand
the
grip is
foam
crazy.
pours all together.
Okay,
And then
yeah,
you're just gonna
so
bring
this
the
is
tip-
interesting because he's pouring 2 drinks with one vessel. What's happening is the milk is gonna separate as you pour it, so they won't be the same texture, but you do want them to be the same texture. The better way to do this is to dump a little milk in one and then pour and then finish the other one with whatever's left over so that the first one gets a little bit of that foam that's on top and then the second one gets whatever's left, and then in the end you can fill it up with the liquid. But he's doing it by rushing and pouring quickly so that the milk doesn't separate as much in a timely manner. But I would suspect his second drink will be looser. Let's see.
The milk
His
at
grip
heart.
is cool.
And then you're gonna texture the milk just a little bit more very quickly so the foam starts
Looks
pouring out
thinner.
near the end of the second cappuccino. Then you're just gonna make the
Ooh,
nice little
that's
movements
actually
that we
really
do for the
pretty.
Rosetta
That's a really
to
pretty
finish it
Rosetta
off.
for a macchiato.
And there you have.
That being said,
your
you can already
cappuccino
tell,
on
like,
top of
if you look at this, he's guessed,
1 pitcher.
he said 2 caps, 1 pitcher, or I guess he's saying, I don't know, but, oh God. But essentially, yeah, one of them had a little bit different texture, which is not ideal.
A little bit of a tribute to fall that I came up with just a couple weeks ago. We're going
Oh,
to
he just
start
came
in the
up
front
with
of the
this a
cup,
couple weeks ago.
making the pour. Very small stuttered movements.
Couple
with
weeks
the
ago,
pitcher.
17 years
so we
ago.
make 1 small leaf, and the cup is still tilted now. You go through, come back to the other side towards you, make the second
This is
leaf.
cool. This is a cool idea.
Okay, make the third. Now we're
Cool.
gonna crank the wrist around. Don't break it. And
Don't
now-
break it.
And then finally the 5th.
I like this. I think latte art should be more fun. I think latte art should be something that people have a lot of fun with and aren't too critical of. I can be a little critical, but I'm only critical of like bad form. I'm not really critical of pours that are avant-garde. I actually encourage the strange and unusual pours. I like that.
And
That's pretty good, Chris. Yes, let's go. The fire-breathing dragon. This is like George R.R. Martin's sequel to The House of the Dragon, but it's the LART version. Okay, being really honest, doesn't look like a fire-breathing dragon to me. Looks a lot more like Pac-Man smoking a leaf. What even is this?
All right, what I'm gonna do for you now is
No, it's Chris teaches it. The next time I see you, Chris, you're gonna pour me a fire-breathing dragon. I'm gonna make you do it.
is
Okay.
called the fire-breathing dragon.
It's called the fire-breathing dragon. It's pretty extreme. Honestly, nothing about this video has been extreme yet. Maybe the fire-breathing dragon part will be the extreme part. Let's go.
It's a Rosetta on top of a heart at the bottom of the cup with a little eyeball. So what we're gonna do is start off by drawing a leaf. As the drink gets bigger, we're just gonna make the Rosetta really we want it to be in the front of the drink.
I don't even want to
We
watch.
have room at the bottom. We're gonna cut through.
That's a good
let it lift
Rosetta.
up a little bit, and then we're gonna pour a little faster.
Oh, that's how he's gonna do
create
it.
The heart. That's
God. But it's not a dragon. It's like a fire-breathing man. It's like just some dude.
We've made the dragon's head. Now we're gonna dip the thermometer into some espresso and make the eyeball.
The next time somebody comes into my shop and is like, will you pour me a bear? I'm gonna pour them this.
And there you have it. Barbecue.
barbecue. They knew what they were doing. They were making memes. Barbecue. I really commend these guys for doing this craft. It's not easy to get on camera. It's not easy to pour on camera. It's not easy to have charisma on camera. And they all tried to do that. And I just think, you know, it's really great. I want to give them total props.
You probably want to go out and try this yourself. And you know what? Remember, these fancy pours are a culinary art form and your customers are going to love it. Have fun with it.
I loved this. Outtakes. Yes, outtakes. Ooh.
To create the heart.
I love him. I love that. Ooh, ow. He like hit that portafilter real hard in that shoulder. Ooh. This looks like a fun time.
Oh my god.
Oh my god.
Really bad.
Oh my god. Oh my gosh. I don't condone that. There is a fine line between a good joke and a bad joke. Do you like that joke? A fine line? You gotta be careful. You can't be out there doing that stuff. I guess that's the extreme part. Well, that was a lot. I'm gonna be dreaming of sugar plums and fire-breathing dragons for a little while. If you haven't already, make sure to hit subscribe. If you're new to the channel, let me know what you guys like this video. I still think this is like such a fun piece of history that doesn't exist anywhere else online. So, I don't know. Good night, you dirty scum.